just wanted to give you an update. I finished the Children of the Whales Volume 2 yesterday. Enjoyed that. Definitely want to continue, but that's my psionics and divination prompt finish. There's still so much to learn about what the hell is going on in this series, but that's okay. I'm not upset. Also, only got 100 pages left of Full Moon by Jim Butcher. I forget what prompt that's for, but I obviously enjoying the hell out of it, and it's a quick read, which I knew. Like urban fantasies and whatchamacallit, paranormal romances tend to be quick reads. So many werewolves. I forgot a lot. There was a point relatively early on where I was like, oh, I had like a little light bulb go off, and memory wise, like, I think those are the bad guys. But I don't remember how we got there or why they would be, but yeah. So I also didn't remember this series being this violent this early on, because this is only book 2. I came to update you is because I really need to pick my order or guild. I never got around to doing that for Orilium, the Magical Readathon, and to put in the books into the spreadsheet that G at Book Gross set up. I need to know my order, so I'm doing that now. I'll come back and let you know what part I'm in. I guess I could tell you about my character too. That would help. Since you have been invited to join the Order of the Crescent, and I'm gonna go read on that and next reading update. So I just finished Full Moon by Jim Butcher, book 2 in the Dresden Files. This was a reread for me. I'm not sure which of the prompts for the Magical Readathon I'm going to use it for, because of it could fit 3 different ones, and depending on what else I read. I don't know what star rating I will give it. I want to put it through Callpile because I'm using that this year, but my Google Drive is full, even though I deleted a bunch of videos. So what do I want to say? I really enjoyed this. This series is still holding up very well. Obviously, it's still ongoing, but this is about a wizard, private investigator type, Harry Dresden, in Chicago, and we get more paranormal element, or a new paranormal element, with werewolves of various kinds. It's a little bit of a stretch to have all the different kinds of werewolves in this one book, but you know, that's a small issue, I think. I love the character of Harry. I know where he's going. He is a bit chauvinistic here and aware of it. And I know that adjusts over time, but it's more of like wanting to be the knight in shining armor, and I know that is an ongoing character flaw that he continues to deal with. There were some things I had forgotten, but still loved. Like, it's been so long since I've read this series that I've forgotten most of the details, but I remember the major plot points. And like, the action is good in here. I really liked the magic system and the, what's the word I'm looking for? You can tell it's spring because ice cream trucks are out and about. The occultism in this, and that always is something I judge harder than a lot of other things in fantasy series. This is an urban fantasy, by the way. But anyway, I don't want to go on too long. The next I'm going to read from my try chapter is Miss Marvel. at least volume one. I might do all 3 volumes tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But and I'm still I'm still listening to the audiobook, The Splendid and the Vile. I didn't mention that after I did the triad chapter, but I've kept on listening to it. I'm not that far. I'm like chapter 4. It's interesting, but yeah, I figure I'll finish that probably halfway through the week. It's at 1.5 speed and interesting. I'm outside because it's nice, but I wanted to give you an update on the books that I've read over the weekend, or so far this week, I should say. When I last updated you, I Miss Marvel. I feel like I talked about Miss Marvel. So I read volume 1. I might read volumes 2 and 3 soon. We'll see. I'm holding on to those. I don't know when the live show is for the Realm of Comic Books book club for this month, and I'm going to be doing Tome Topple, the series Crackdown, and I'm saving my huge books for the end of the month. Those are from the 15th to the 28th, and I, just in case, want to save a couple of shorter books to cleanse my palate in between, so I don't fall into a reading slump. But yeah, the next book I finished was Surprise, Surprise, The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. It's book 2 in the Bridgerton series. I was struggling, and I was ready to DNF. I've got several other books I could read to fit a prompt for the Magical Readathon that I picked that book for, but I got through it, and I wound up enjoying the end. So, really thinking about the Bridgerton series and if I want to finish it. Issues with the author aside, because that is a thing to consider, in my opinion. And I found this out while reading this book. It's also, like, I feel in particular that the issues that the couple or the person, usually the guys, have to overcome in the books are stupid. And I hate saying that, but they're ridiculous. It was plausible in book 1, and this one I was just like, not like it's plausible, but the way it was handled, or the so he kind of like sort of has a fear of death, and there is death of a parent, not in this book, but it is the what do you call it? The grief dealing with that both of them are dealing with, and I understand. I just feel like the way he was written to have expressed his grief was quite ridiculous. And I don't know if the historical romances that I read written by white women, oh, Jesus, dude, scared the crap out of me. I don't know if they were like this, or maybe they were, and I did not have a problem with it. Because, you know, like, the whole guys, like, I'm not gonna love anyone thing is okay, right? Whatever, dude. But the whole force, the reason, the scene where they were forced to get married, that's where I put it down and didn't pick it up for weeks, because that was absolutely ridiculous. So, thinking about this, but what I really love that I feel is different from other historical romances I've read, and I do like the family aspect where each book is a different member of a family. Those are the ones I usually am drawn to. I like the way it's portrayed in this series, like, you know, the sibling bickering and playfulness and the overprotectiveness and all of that. I just like the way the siblings relate to each other and how they all pull the significant others into the family. Like, there's a bit of, natural family and a bit of found family, and I like that. So if you have suggestions for other historical romances that are less ridiculous on the romance side, but still have that element, then let me know. The next book I finished, I'm checking my Goodreads. So yesterday, this was not on my Magical Readathon TBR, but I might slot it in there because maybe, I don't know. But I didn't read the majority of this month, so maybe it doesn't count, but I read it. The Healing Garden Herbs for Health and Wellness by Deb Sewell. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sule maybe, but probably just Sewell. This is a nonfiction herbal book, and I picked it out from my library because I wanted more references for herbs, the uses and preparations of them, but also harvesting and growing them. And this was a good one. It's like I said, it's mostly reference. I read the majority of it. 2/3. The last third is just like lists of herbs and, bullet points on how to prepare them, what their uses are medically, and I guess emotionally in that way. So very good, very nicely written. A lot of herbs that I can get around here in my area. I'm currently in a park where we grow herbs and without pesticides and whatnot. So there's that, and so very helpful. I just happened to finish that. The next book I finished from the Magical Readathon was Breath of Dust and Dawn, book 1.5 in the Earthsinger Chronicles series by El-Kalili. I read book 1 last year and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. And so I've been hemming and hawing. And this year I said, I'm going to finish the series. I like this enough that I want to continue. It's a fantasy romance. Don't ask me what prompt I read it for. I'll come back and let you guys know at the end. But I enjoyed this. It was a cute little romp. So this series is, like I said, fantasy romance. We're dealing with the Elsira and Lagrimar, which are two countries that have been at war for a very long time. Just to be perfectly frank, they're white, the Lagrimarians are black. There's a magical wall between their countries that are keeping them apart, except every once in a while there's a hole in it. And finally, at the end of book 1, the wall is brought down thanks to our two main characters, Jasminda, who is half Lagrimarian, half Elsyrian, and living in Elsira on the edges of the country because she is shunned for being mixed race, basically. And Jack, who is a spy, and he is has been caught, but the Lagrimarians that caught him think they're still in Elsira, but they're not. They come across Jasminda's cabin thinking, like I said, they're still in Lagrimar, and things go from there. Jasminda decides to help the spy, Jack, and yeah. So things are different now, and Jasminda is struggling with her new position in life, totally different from what she's used to. And Jack tells her a story of when he was younger and a situation similar in issue, but not in what's actually happening. Like when he was young and new to his role and unsure about how to deal with various people that he's not used to dealing with. And so there's it's mostly a flashback, but we start out in Jasminda's point of view with her issue, and there are cute little moments of romance between Jack and Jasminda. So I want to read book 2, which I will, because it's the only book I have with Shadow in the title, one of the prompts for Magical Readathon. So the book I finished this morning was a short story, and that was The Khan of El-Kalili and The Angel of Khan El-Kalili. Excuse me. This is by P. Jelly Clark, and it's the next short story in the Dead Jin universe. I read the first short story a month or 2 ago, I forget, and loved it. I like this. Actually, no, the first book was like a novella, a little bit longer than this. This was very short. We're not with the main character from the first book, or I think the other stories and books in this universe series, but I still really enjoyed it. This is alternate history Cairo, where there are angels and jinn, and also there's like a steampunk aspect to it as well, and just the atmosphere is so good, so good. Unlike the first book, I do want more. Unlike a Dead Jin in Cairo, the Angel of Khan El-Kalili left me wanting more, but I will get more. I will get more. I love this so much. It's so good. So yeah, that is where I'm up to. I have read 6 books so far. Remember when I was doing my try a chapter, I was very concerned because I hadn't started, and my plan for the Magical Readathon is to read a book for all 14 prompts. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What am I gonna read next though? Probably The Dream Hunter, because yeah, that will hopefully fill my Art of Illusion prompt, which I don't see why it wouldn't, because it's a reread and I like that series. So wish me luck. And then that will be all of the books that I just tried a chapter for, but I am on a roll now. I know basically what I want to read, and I have all the books, so I'm very happy. See you guys in the next update.